we tend to overlook some of the things that affect single mothers, man. These lights are bright, bro. We tend to overlook some of the things that affect single mothers, man. But even more so, we overlook some of the things that they do that affect their sons. And tonight, man, we're going to address one of the most pressing issues that young men who are born to single mothers, live with single mothers, and all of these things. We're going to address this issue, man. Willie Beeman, appreciate the $20 super chat, bro. Bro, say you already know BOA. The Steph is cold. Family is your family. Salute to you, Beeman. I appreciate that, brother. Appreciate it. So, 10 reasons single mothers don't let their sons become men, and in actuality, hinder their sons' growth into individual men, into independent men. Now, there's a few things I got on this list, man, and they're not in any particular order of importance. These are just things that happen in young men's lives when they have single mothers. And, you know, a lot of these things are based on the fact that, you know, they don't do any soul searching. You know, single mothers really don't do any soul searching. So, you know, we live in a society where it's worn as a badge of honor. You know, being a mother who doesn't have any help from the father of your child as far as in-home help. And, you know, a lot of times a woman won't admit that she's driven a man off with her foolishness, with her inability to be obedient, with her inability to exhibit shut-uppiness. You know, a lot of times you meet these women, man, and you realize that shut-uppiness and obedience is the thing that they lack, man. And so they go into these scenarios and they realize that they need validation. Women need validation, man, and they'll get it from wherever they can get it from. You know what I'm saying? Like, a woman will take her last money and spend it on some Jordans for her son, man, because she gets validation from taking care of her son, for being a good mother, because he's got a pair of Jordans. You know, they have a ready-made source of validation. See, let me tell you something about women, man, when it comes to validation. They'll take any validation they can get and just spread it over all of the spots they need validation. So validation as a mother, hey, man, it covers the pain of not having validation as a woman, as a wife. You understand? Validation as a wife, it covers the pain of being a terrible mother, not being able to have children, or you know, a woman can use any type of, you know, validation, as we call it. It's really not validation. It is really just motivation to continue to overlook the things that you need to fix in your life. You know what I'm saying? So that validation, man, it's a heavy load for a young man to carry, because as a young man gets older, he starts to feel a responsibility to validate his mother. You know what I'm saying? It gets weird after a while when a boy is telling his mother she's pretty. It gets weird after a while. You know, some of these women, man, they let their son sleep in bed with a man till they 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, man. You know what I'm saying? Boy still sleeping in bed. He 12 years old, man. He got hormones raging and everything. And he laying in the bed with his mama, man, sleeping that night. You know what I'm saying? And it's not normal. They know it's not normal, but they need that. You know, a lot of women are lonely, brothers. A lot of these single mothers are lonely. They are hella lonely, man. You know what I'm saying? And when a woman is lonely, she'll take the company of anybody she can have. Now, I'm not saying anything's turned sexual. I'm just saying, but the company of anybody she can have, man. Women love to cuddle. Women love to be loved on. I'm not talking about sexually, but they love to be loved on. They love to be held. They love to be told that they're beautiful. They love to be told that they're important. They love to be told that they're doing a good job, man. And they need that. And if they can't get it from a man in their lives, which they probably don't earn it from a man in their lives, they automatically earn it from their sons because they're his mother. They automatically earn it. Another thing is this, man. Unconditional love. The average boy who's grown up in a home without a father, man, he has unconditional love for his mother. It doesn't matter what she does. She could do anything. It doesn't matter. She's got unconditional love. So she can be go in the streets and do whatever she wants to do and come home and still be loved, especially when those boys are young. When you're a young boy, man, you love your mother to no end, man. She can take whatever she needs from the world. She could do whatever she needs to do in the world and then come home and be loved like she's a goddess. You know what I'm saying? To a little bitty baby, to a little boy, his mother is a goddess, man. He can't see it. When something happens to a little boy, man, unless his dad is really active in his life. When something happens to a little boy, let's say he go out, man, and he break a finger, or he hurt himself. I won't say he break a finger, but he hurt himself. Or he see a snake, or something scares him, or he gets stung by a bee. He hollers, Mom. He hollers mama first. All boys that have single mothers as parents, as their primary caregiver, they always holler mom for protection. They always holler mom for concern. They always holler mama for everything. And those boys grow up into an environment where they feel like they end up being reliant on a woman to compliment them. End up being reliant on a woman to validate their own existence, to validate their significance, to validate their value as a man. Yeah, I've seen that, man. You know, they're all on IG, man. You know, when you look at some of these things, bro, I don't even look at those things on IG, man. I stopped looking at that stuff, man, probably a couple of years ago, at least a year ago. Man, I don't look at that stuff, man. That stuff is very disheartening, man. You know what I'm saying? It is very disheartening to see a woman in a photo, man, where she's trying to call herself taking a sexy picture and she's got her son, man, palming her butt, or she's got her son doing, you know, all types of crazy things, man. And it's weirdo activity, man. And it's very, very, very detrimental to the existence of these young boys, man. That's why these young boys are so emotional. That's why these young boys are so caught up in their feelings. That's why they're so caught up in anger and angst, because they don't know who they are. They have a load of testosterone bubbling in them, but they have feminine tendencies because they've been taught, raised, and led into catering to a woman. And catering to a woman, the only thing you can do when you cater to a woman is be feminine. You have to cater to a woman in a feminine way. That's what catering to a woman is. It's feminine. The Sincere One, appreciate the $5 super chat, bro. I met Amiza keeping it real, brother. I appreciate the $20 super chat, bro. Appreciate you. So, you know, that unconditional love, man, it covers all boundaries, man. And that's why a woman goes to a relationship expecting unconditional love from a man, because she wants boy type, not necessarily boy type love, but she wants that undying stupid love. You know, unconditional love for a woman is stupid love. And that's the type of love a boy has for his mother. He has stupid love for his mother. That same love doesn't transition into his relationship with his father, but he'll have that stupid love for his mother. No matter what she does, she can be an absolutely horrible mother and he'll still love her. You know, he still love her, still take care of her, still feel the same way about it, still feel obligated. A single mother uses that obligation to her advantage, man, and then it's a lot of time makes that boy seem obligated to being with her, makes that boy feel obligated to staying at home. That, man, let me tell you something. Plenty of times a single mother will run your girlfriend off. She'll run your fiance off. Let you talk about you finna marry that girl, man. She'll do it. Man, listen, bro, I've known scenarios, man, where a woman would dig up dirt on a woman, man. I'm talking about dig up dirt on her family and convince that boy, man, to leave that woman alone, man, because that woman is close to taking her man child away from her, man. And these boys don't really know what they're dealing with out here, man. They don't understand what's going on. They think that, you know, this is how it's supposed to be because they look around and all of their friends have single mothers. And, you know, their situation to them in their mind is better than their friend's situation. And, you know, it's one of those things, man. You think about how a young boy, man, get a contract. And I'll give y'all an example, man. I don't know if I told y'all this before, man, but I was watching America's Got Talent, man. Actually, I wasn't watching it. Somebody sent me a link and I was watching a clip of it. And this little boy, he was 7 years old, man, and he was on that thing, man, and he was talented as hell, man. And they asked him, what was you going to do, man, if you won? That little 7-year-old boy said, buy my mama a house. He's 7 years old, man, and he already thinking about his mama like he her husband. I'm going to buy my mama a house. Well, where your mama husband at? How come your mama can't get a man to buy a house? How come your mom can't get a man to put in a house? You 7 years old, man, and his life trajectory is based on, man, trying to take care of his mama at 7 years old, bro. That's a travesty. That boy can't think about his own goals and ambitions. He got to think about doing something to make the money. Of course, you got to make money to live, but also you got to have a passion for what you do. So here's a little boy, man, who probably going to take on something that he don't even enjoy. You take a cat like Vince Carter, and I always said this about Vince Carter. If Vince Carter had the work ethic of Kobe, man, Vince Carter would have been an athlete like we've never seen before. He was already an athlete like we've never seen before, but that boy would have broke all kind of records, man, because he was a hell of a scorer. He could jump out the gym, and some of the things he could do with the ball were amazing, but Vince Carter just did what he had to do. That was his skill, so he played in the NBA, but he didn't have a passion for it the way some of these other guys did, but he probably felt pressure to do that. Maybe he had to buy his mama a house. And let me tell you something, bro. This is not about even attacking single mothers. This is about offending the offspring, the boys who had to grow up in the household with a single mother. This is not an attack on the single mother. Single mothers really don't even matter in this equation. We're just talking about them because they're the ones that influence these boys. But we're talking about the influence that they have on these boys. How does that affect these boys? GMB, appreciate you being in the joint, my brother. Appreciate the $20 super chat as well, man. Bro say young men seeking the approval of their single mother will seek the approval of every woman they interact with as an adult. Salute, my brother. King 100. No doubt, bro. Exactly. They will be brainwashed into believing that a woman approving of their manhood makes them a man. Now, we all know what that could entail in this society, man. Listen, if you listen to a woman tell you how to be a man, there's going to be some femininity in there. There's going to be something that benefits her in there. And let me tell you something. The only thing that truly benefits a woman in an easy way is you being more feminine. You could be masculine and give a woman hella benefits. Hella benefits, bro. But she got to buy into the process. She got to buy into the work. She got to work for those benefits. If you do everything in your power to cater to her, she ain't got to work for that. She just got to show up. She gets a participation trophy, man, for just waking up in the morning. Chuck, what up? Another thing is this, man. The power of controlling masculinity times 10. You know how much a woman loves to control a beta male? Well, imagine if she's got her own little beta male at home. She got, she can control masculinity. It ain't nothing when he's a little boy, but when he gets about 12, 13, 14 years old, that's why I use this for the thumbnail, man. This kid is 14, 15 years old, man, way taller than his mama, man. Boy, already man size. You need to put a little weight on him. He already man size, and she manhandled that boy damn public like that. That boy is ruined right there, man. That boy ain't gonna turn out to be positive. He ain't gonna turn out to be masculine. He gonna turn out, that boy turn out to be in bad shape. That scars you as a man, to be dominated like that by a woman, especially when you in the throes of manhood, man, and you got all this testosterone bubbling in you, and you feel like a man. To be manhandled like that by your mama, bro, man, there's no possible way a father would let that happen in this. There's no way a father would let, man, a stepdad wouldn't even let that happen, man. So it's something that only happens to a young boy who's living with his single mother. I'm talking about she whooped up on him in public, and man, she had a look on her face like she was proud to do it. Like she was going to show him and the world that she will beat her son down. She run him. I'm telling you, man, it's the craziest thing in the world, bro. Craziest thing in the world. And that's why I say, man, we have to take it a little bit lighter on stepdads, man. Yeah, I'm not going to be in that position. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna marry no other dude, baby mama, or his ex-wife with children. I'm not finna marry no woman in that position. But the men who do, we can look at the men and say anything we want to say about them, but whatever influence they have on those boys, man, especially if they can come in, man, and really make the woman move something. I've known guys, man, who've got with women who had a child, man, and they made, man, that woman she shaped up, man. She shaped up because she knew if she didn't shape up, he was going to ship out, and everything changed. So anything those boys can get, man, not all of those boys are athletic, so they're not going to have a coach. You know what I'm saying? So we got to keep that in mind, man. We got to always remember, man, that the bottom line is what can we do to benefit these young boys, man? And I feel like, man, sometimes a stepdad is all some of them are gonna have, man, as far as having any type of positive male role model in their lives, bro. Now, I mean, the stepdad ain't gonna be the most masculine dude for the simple fact that he's a stepdad. But the bottom line is, man, he's gonna be better than just being stuck there with your mama, unless he's just an all-out beta male simp mangina. And the woman around him 100%. T. Jills, appreciate the $5 super chat, bro. Bro said just checking in. Salute to the BOA and fella Alpha. Salute to you, Jizzle. Appreciate you dropping through, man. Appreciate you dropping in, bro. So, that power of controlling masculinity, man, is something, boy, a woman will give her left arm to be able to control masculinity. That's what this whole society is. All these things we complain about, all these attacks on us, all these attacks on the things we do, all these attacks on being firm and being masculine and being tough and being hardcore, man, and standing on principles and standing on the truth of life. All that is under attack because women want to control masculinity. So a woman who has a son who's grown up that she's already dominated his whole life and made him treat her like she's a king. Let me tell you something. It's one thing to treat a woman like a queen. It's another thing to treat a woman like a king. That's something totally different, bro. That's something totally different. And that's real talk, bro. That's real talk. So this is the power of controlling masculinity times 10. She gets to do this for this kid's entire life. You know how you met a mama's boy before. His mama still control his life. The boy 20, 30 years old, man, his mama still control his life. Still got him doing things he don't want to do. Got him going to church every Sunday. He don't even want to go, but he going because he don't want to make his mom. He don't want his mom to be disappointed. He don't want to make his mama mad. Let me tell you something. As you become a man, a real man, your mama gonna be disappointed just by that fact, because everything she had on you, it's gonna change. You understand? At a certain point, you get to the point where you're not listening to your mama tell you what to do. You're telling her what to do, not in a disrespectful way, but you're telling her, mama, you don't need to eat that. You need to put that down, man. I mean, don't bring no more pork in here. You know what I'm saying? Boy, this is my house. Yeah, that's your body too. And when you kill yourself from eating this pork, don't expect me to sympathize with you. You know what I'm saying? You become a man, and your relationship with your mother changes. It must change. It has to change. If your relationship with your mother doesn't change as you become a man, you didn't become a man. Automatically, when you become a man, your relationships with all the women in your life changes. And if you still have the same relationship with your mother that you had when you were a teenager, and now you in your late 20s, early 30s, you're still a boy. You're still a boy. And I can't even say at least around her, because if you're around her, you're still a boy. Even if you just act like that around her, hey man, the only reason you're not when she's not around is because she's not around. It's still in you. You just turned it off. Another thing is this, man, and this is a big one right here, man. Her feelings of inadequacy when the boy's father creates a successful family environment with another woman. A lot of times, man, like, let me tell you something, brothers, and this real talk, and I want y'all to remember this. The majority of women can't overcome that. They can't overcome that sense of failure. They can't overcome that sense of defeat. When the feelings of inadequacy rise, when the boy's father creates a successful family, a wonderful family environment with another woman, especially marriage. If he moves on and marries another woman, and her son coming home telling her how amazing it is and how nice the woman is to him, and how he just loved being over there, and she take care of him, and she taught him this and she taught him that, and you know, and he want to go back over there as soon as he can, and he get mad when he can't go, and the woman be calling, checking on him and all that. Now she's sitting there looking at the scenario, looking at him like she's the reason. I mean, a woman will figure out a way to make that boy the reason that the man is gone. Or she'll look at him and say, well, if it wasn't for you, then I wouldn't. She'll figure out a way to put it on that boy. And you know what she'll do? She'll hold that boy the task of repaying her. She'll convince herself in some kind of way that boy is involved in what transpired between him and her father, between her and his father, and she'll make him pay her. That's what his catering is for. He's got to pay for her mistakes. He's got to pay for the fact that his dad has moved on. He's got to fill in for his dad is what he's got to do. He's got to fill in to give her some of that experience that woman is getting. And it sounds crazy, bro, but that is real talk, man. See, it's even more damaging if it's the very next woman or the woman he left her for. If it's the woman he left her for, man, that boy there is in bad shape, man. He in bad shape. I'm telling y'all what I know from experience, man. That's why I end up living with my dad after my mom left. After 5 years, man, I lived with my dad until I became an adult. Well, until I wasn't not necessarily a true adult, but until I got to the point where I could get my own thing. You know what I'm saying? Until I hustled up, man, and did my own thing, man. I went and stayed with my pops after that. It wasn't no way. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep in mind, bro, that I'm talking to you from experience. Now, I didn't live my whole life, my whole childhood, with a single mother. But, once the split, man, I had a 5-year window right there. And I'm going to tell you, boy, those 5 years, man, if you got to do that for 18 years, damn, dog. I sympathize with every man. I sympathize with every brother who is growing up in a single parent home, in a single mother home. I sympathize with him. I know he's not getting what he needs to be a man, so I know he's going to be a beta male simp mangina at some point in his life. He's going to be catering to these women. He's going to be giving way more than he's getting from these women, and I sympathize with him because I know there's absolutely nothing he can do about it. He just hadn't been taught. No one was there to guide the boy. And that's real talk, man. No one was there to guide the boy, so what is he going to do? He was raised into manhood. He was taught to be a man by a woman. I want y'all to understand that. It's like being taught to be a cat by a dog. You can do everything. You can do everything a dog can do, but you can't climb a tree. You ain't self-cleaning yourself. Brown said, man, appreciate the $10 super chat, bro. Say salute, Dr. BOA. This topic is rarely discussed We men appreciated you letting the Most High work through you. The curses were on the Arnold joke. Real masculinity is a threat to the hierarchy. Man, it certainly is, brother. It certainly is. Reginald Horton, appreciate the $5 super chat, bro. Say one of my biggest hurdles with my mother. It still affects me to this day, and I'll be 30 in a few months. She was vicious. Man, you know, it be like that, bro. It be like that. You know, this is the thing that you got to understand, man. And I say this all the time. A woman without a man guiding her can't have a strong relationship with God. That's the problem. She can go to church. She can have a strong Christian background. She can have a strong religious, inclination, but she can't have a strong relationship with God. And a woman who is single needs God. That's the problem. She needs God. Any woman who is single had better have some man around to help her raise that child. And I'm not talking about a beta male simp mangina. So when a woman who has the problem is a lot of times a single mother will end up in a relationship with a man who's a chump. And that's a detriment to her and her son. And she may not see it because her feelings, her emotions are involved, and she wants somebody to love her. And the first man who comes along and loves her, and he may seem like he got his thing together, but if he's a chump, then he's going to help you raise your son to be even a bigger chump. A lot of times, man, these women will settle for a guy that's just not worthy. They'll settle for a guy who's not worthy. And now, granted, I'm going to be honest. As a single mother, you're not going to have all the options you would have had if you didn't have a child. Your options are limited. They're not, you don't go from having 100 options to having 0, but you lose some options. There's some men that just aren't going to be available to you in that scenario. You got to respect that. That's why women have to be careful who they have children with. But when you have angst toward the failure of the relationship with your child's father, you can't take it out on your child. That's what happens. Women take this out on their child. They take the angst that they have with his father, they take it out on his child. They may tell the boy, I hate you. You just like your ugly daddy. You just like your black daddy. You just like your stanky daddy. You just like your blah, blah, blah daddy. You and your dad, you and your daddy, both of y'all ain't this. Now, it's okay to hear that from a girl at school. You're like, girl, go on somewhere with your nappy head self. But you hearing that from your mama. You know how much it destroys a young man for his mama to tell him he ain't nothing? The only thing he got in his life to have his back at that point is his mama. His daddy gone. So when he hears that from his mama, man, that boy gonna turn out to be whatever she say he is, man. That's a huge ego shot to a boy getting that from anybody he looks up to, man. But if he looks up to this person and she's all he's got, come on, bruh. Come on, bro. It changes the boy's life, man, and it ruins him. It ruins him, man. It ruins him. You have got to have a man in your life, man. You have got to have at least one man. I'm not talking about a male. A boy has to have at least one man in his life. He has to. So another thing is this, man. When desperation sets in, a woman needs emergency validation from whatever source she can get it from, whatever male source she can get it from. And by desperation, I mean when a woman gets to the point where she starts wondering if she's ever going to have love, if she's ever going to have a relationship. Because contrary to what you might believe, man, the modern women act like they don't need that. But deep down inside, all women need that. That's how they were put here to need. They need that. You know what I'm saying? And with the curse of Eve, then they definitely need that. All women need that love. All women need that affection from a man. But when a woman gets to the point where the very moment she embraces, man, none of these niggas ain't nothing. I don't need no man. The moment a woman says she don't need no man, she finna drain her son's energy. Especially if he's a teenager already. If he was an older boy, she finna drain his energy. There's 2 ways that a woman who don't need no man deals with her son. She either treats him like a scrub and diminishes his value as a man, or she uses his value as a man and drains his masculine energy. Either way, that boy gonna go out in the world as a shell of the man he's supposed to be. He's gonna go out in the world as a shell of a man he's supposed to be. And that's just the reality of it, man. And even that desperation, man, a lot of this can be traced back to angst toward the failure of the relationship with his father. Either she chose the wrong man, or she thought it was going to work, or, or whatever happened. Something happened in their relationship, because deep down inside, a woman instinctively wants to be a family with the man she has a child with. Unless it's a one night stand, and it's a one night stand, then you probably, ain't no telling what negative energy going on in your life. You get pregnant on a one night stand, you were living pretty reckless. But, a lot of times, man, there's an emptiness because a woman was put here to be a bearer of a man's child. And when she does that and ends up not being with the man, it becomes a problem for her. And also her son. And that's real talk. Black Ronin, man, appreciate the $2 super chat, bro. Bro say I finally stood up to my mother recently at age 47. Salute to you, brother. Salute to you. Real talk. That is a power move that you made right then, bro. That is one of those moves that you had to make it. You can't fully embrace yourself as a man. You can't fully embrace your masculinity until you stand up to that. You have to get over that hurdle, man. And a lot of men, man, they never get over that hurdle. They end up, man, becoming older men, and they never get over that hurdle, man. They 60, 70, 80 years old, man. They die without having gotten over that hurdle. And so they live an incomplete life, man, because you have to get over that hurdle. You have to. You have to. And see, let me tell you what happens, man. This is the major problem. This is why men are affected when they get in their teens and their early 20s. When her window of extreme desirability closes, they call it the wall, but when her window of extreme desirability closes, she cannot afford to let her son be taken away from her by a girlfriend, and especially not a wife. When her window of extreme desirability closes, her options for validation die. Her son is all she has. She has wasted her best, most fruitful years doing frivolous things, living a frivolous life. And now at this point, she needs her son's validation, or she is without validation. She has none. She absolutely has none. So if you think about MILF porn, what is it? Moms I like to knock down. When you think about that, a lot of those women, man, are in that situation where they just need the validation. They just need to feel desired. You know what I'm saying? It gets to the point where they need to feel desired so much, man, that they have to revert back to trying to be mommy again to their sons. And it ruins the boy, man. It ruins the boy. And a lot of these boys out here, man, they don't even know that they're being ruined, man. But you look at them. When the last time you saw a boy that got his dad in his house, man, walk around with some skinny pants on, with his butt hanging out, man, with his drawers showing and some skinny pants? When the last time you seen a boy that's in the house with his dad? I ain't talking about in the house with a man. I'm talking about in the house with his dad, walking around, man, with anything on that look like girl clothes. When you saw him walk around with some pink shoes on. When you saw him walk around, look like he got a blouse or a skirt on. When you saw him walk around, man, with some red barrettes in his head. When you saw any of these things. When you saw him walk around, man, acting like he ain't got no sense. When you saw him making bad grades in school on purpose. When you saw him dropping out. When you saw, man, that is not something that happens when a boy has a dad in his life, man. If young boys had their fathers in their lives, man, the dropout rate, man, would be cut in half at least. At least. You got to keep in mind, man, that, you take a scenario, and a lot of times, man, you can't see the result until it's already, when the result happens, it's too late. You can't jump in at the end when a boy becomes a man and he's already in terrible shape. It's too late. That's why I focus on young boys, man. I focus on young boys because there's really not much you can do to help grown men. All you can do to help a grown man is help him get a job, helping him to figure out a way to make some money. That's all you can do for a grown man. But for boys, man, we got to get out here and get these boys, man. We got to get out here and get these boys. There was a picture not long ago, man, of this woman, man, her and her son, man, and man, their picture was really risque. I don't know if that was a joke or something, man, but that picture they took together, man, I mean, they were fully clothed, but the picture just looked like, man, like they was like about to go on a date. The energy between them, it was just it was a real whack energy, man. It was a funny energy, man. And I was like, man, that's weird. It kind of went viral too, man. I don't know if y'all remember that, man. But they was standing up in the picture, man, like they were about to head to the club or something, man. And it was just a weird pic, man. It was a weird pic. And it just goes to show that, at a certain point, I'm quite sure, man, there are some scenarios, man, that cross the line. I know there are scenarios that cross the line, man. For sure. You and me both know that there are scenarios that absolutely cross the line when it comes to this. Jose Navarro, appreciate the $10 super chat, bro. Bro, say I dated a single mother. You're never seen his first place. They always choose the kids first, and you always have to hear their damn kid over the phone. Man, the thing is, bro, I feel like this. You have to know what you're dealing with when you're dealing with a single mother. You have to know what you're dealing with. You're not dealing with, like some type of marriage thing. You're not dealing with some type of, you're just not dealing with marriage material. That's just the bottom line, man. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like this. Men have to take an active role in their sons' lives. I think every man who is situated to, if you have a son with a woman, you should go and at least try to get split custody. And if possible, man, you should go and try to get full custody. At a certain point, a mother becomes useless to a boy. She becomes a detriment. She can't benefit a boy at a certain age. At a certain age, that boy needs his father. That age is somewhere between 12 and 15. Between 12 and 15. And now with the way they're being exposed to all this femininity, somewhere between 10 and 12. Somewhere between 10, 12, 13, that boy needs to be with his father, man. Once you enter into high school, man, if you with a single mother, man, you're not going to do the right thing, man. And I'm not talking about making good grades. That's cool. Making good grades is cool, but I'm talking about the way you develop into a man. Because after high school, you get out into the world as a man. People start to expect manhood from you. And where did you learn your manhood from? If you learn your manhood from a woman, bro, you are not a man. You can't. No woman can teach you how to be a man. I don't care if somebody gave her every single rule, every single tool that she needed, and she can create a manhood school. It don't matter, because everybody who still believes that she can teach you how to be a man is a damn fool. A woman can't teach you how to be a man, and that's all you got, then you are less than a man. That's why all this emotionality is coming from with these young men. They always want to fight, always want to shoot, always want to cut up. Man, these cats be beating up their girlfriend, man, live on IG. They be beating up their girlfriend, recording it, man, uploading it, man. They be beating up their girlfriend on Facebook Live. I'm talking about putting hands on her. And I know, man, a woman can be flip at the mouth, but there's no reason for you to have to put hands on a woman like that, man. You got to put hands on like that. You need to bounce. But they're not built to bounce. They're not built to look at a woman as beneath me, because they look at themselves as equal. Why? Because they were taught to be a man by a woman, which means they are a very effeminized version of a man. That's what that means. BA, appreciate the $5 super chat, bro. Say salute, Dr. BOA. Minneapolis is crumbling and women are out here striving for social media likes. No man equals no connection to God, for real. That's real, bro. There is no connection. There is no connection, man. And that's the biggest thing. Without a man, or a woman has no connection to God. She has no connection to God without a man. She absolutely has no connection to God. She can't develop a connection to God. Like, God don't really like women like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, a woman has to be taught well. She has to be following a man who is following God. And that's just the reality of it, man. Let's see, man. Just saw Weeze up in here. Weeze Bowski, man, appreciate the $10 super chat, bro. Say, Dr. BOA, what would be a good starting point to slowly introduce youngster to the spoken word? I started by being active and healthier. Appreciate the advice. Salute, fellas and mods. Man, you really just have to, you have to meet them at a point that they can understand. That's the thing about dealing with kids, man, dealing with youngsters, man. You got to deal with them on a point that they can understand. That's why, man, you stay in pretty good shape, man. You get out and shoot some ball with them, man. You know what I'm saying? Get out and shoot some ball and be impressive. Get out and shoot some ball, man, and dominate them. I used to do that, man. I used to roll up on a group of kids, man, and they be out there shooting ball, man. I just pull up, man. I go out there, man, and I dominate. And, I'm talking about, not just, little 8, 9. I'm talking about some kids that's in high school, man. Some high schoolers. You know what I'm saying? 11, 12th graders, man. I go out there, man, and and do my thing, because, I'm a grown man. You know what I'm saying? And ain't nobody really out there, man, trying to break a leg and then so ain't nobody really trying to do no high flying, 360s and then like that, man. So I go out there, man, and then, before you know it, man, I develop a honest, open relationship with these kids, man. And I start giving them advice. I start telling them things. They talking amongst themselves about what they're going through in school or whatever, right? And so I'm talking to them, man, letting them know, hey, man, this is how you handle that. Because school problems is elementary. It ain't even elementary to me. I damn near have to think back how you handle that. But, once you in the door with them, man, then they'll open up to you, man. Those boys want to open up to a man. That's one thing you have to understand about boys. They want to open up to a man. There's some things they don't want to open up to their mother about. You know what I'm saying? They want to open up to a man, but they want to open up to a man that they view as a man. They want to open up to their punk, poop butt uncle. They want to open up to their sucker stepdad, man, who let their mama treat him like a scrub. They want to open up to a man. That's why a lot of boys, man, need these coaches in their lives, man. Coaches change kids' lives because coaches are hardcore. I've never been around a coach who wasn't hardcore. Even the nice coaches are hardcore. You know what I'm saying? Even the nice coaches are hardcore. And that's the reality of the scenario, man. So, the reality of this, man, the reality of it is this, man. When that window of extreme desirability closes, a woman loses about 50% of her self-confidence. And if she doesn't have a way, like she doesn't have an online presence where guys can make her delusional about herself, a woman, she welcomes delusion because delusion is simply an escape from the truth of her life. She loves it. She loves it, man. I mean, she loves delusion. With delusion, she can tell herself that she is what she isn't. She can be 300 pounds and tell herself she's 200. She could be, she could have some of the worst skin in the world and tell herself that she's a cover girl. She could tell herself, man, that, being a single mother with 4 children is a good thing. She could tell herself whatever she wants to. And how does she do that? Because online, men will give her validation, the same validation they give the beautiful woman who has none of those issues. So, but a woman without an online presence, man, she's in trouble. She's in trouble. She cannot afford to let her son get away. She can't do it. And this is one of the big ones right here, man. The Oedipus complex makes a young man treat his mama like his woman. Now, you would think that the woman wouldn't go for that. But as a woman who is already knee deep into needing validation, and with a woman's ability to navigate the fantasy world, she embraces that treatment. She embraces that treatment, man. Think about when you see athletes, man. They buy their mama a house, they buy their mama a car, they buy their mama this, they buy their mama that. Her husband's supposed to buy her that. Her husband is supposed to buy her that. A lot of time these guys have, pretty good relationships with their woman, man, and then they'll ruin it, man, by treating their mama like their woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, these guys really believe that they marry a woman. If you're going to marry a woman, how are you going to treat her secondary to your mother? Like, your mother is your woman. Your mother is your first woman. You done married your side chick. But that's the type of thing that happens out here, man. These guys are out here, man, and the Oedipus complex makes him treat his mama like his woman. Now, with her ability to navigate the fantasy world, man, she embraces that treatment to the detriment of her son, of course. It's always a detriment to a boy to love his mama the wrong way. Whether you love her right, whether you love her good or bad, it's always detrimental to a boy to love his mama the wrong way. You have to keep in mind, bro, that every time you look at a scenario, and this is, it's about to get weird. You understand? It's about to get weird right now, but it's about to be true. When she sees him with his girlfriend or his fiance or his wife, she envies that. That's the only kind of love she can't get from him. But somewhere in her twisted mind, she wishes she could. I want y'all to think about that, man. Somewhere in her twisted mind, she wishes she could. And that is a very, very very confusing scenario. You know, just imagine the state it puts his wife in, or his girlfriend. Imagine the state it puts him in, because subconsciously her actions will start to support that ideology. She won't ever come out and say that. She won't ever come out and say, I wish my son would love me the way he loved his wife. She ain't gonna never say that. But subconsciously, she'll start being a hater. She'll start attacking the woman. She'll start throwing monkey wrenches in the relationship. Why? Because she wants her son to herself. In her mind, if she can't get that type of love from her son, she don't want anybody else to get it. And that is a twisted mindset. It is a selfish mindset. It is a crazy mindset. And, you know, to be perfectly honest with you, man, it is a mindset that I think we have to be aware of and understand that young men don't really, you know, they shouldn't be forced to live in that environment, man. It's a travesty for a young man to have to deal with that. I know my camera froze up, man, but we're going to keep on going. Y'all just gonna have to watch that still shot right there. But so when you think about it, man, every time you look at one of these scenarios where you see these boys out here, it's cringeworthy. Every time I hear a boy, man, tell my man he finna buy his mama a house, I be like, man, your mama is not your woman. I know you want your mama to live somewhere nice, but damn, bro. You gonna buy a house, you gonna buy a car, you gonna treat her like this, you gonna go back and live in the house with her as a grown man? Come on, bro. Whatever happened to the days where men were taught to go out and make their way in the world? Whatever happened to the days where men were taught to go out, man, and pick their spot in the world and build that spot, create their own family? You know where that went? It went the way of the two-parent home. See, this systemic destruction of the two-parent home, of course, you know it was by design. As much as they researched, don't you think they looked at the statistics of their own race and looked at and saw how detrimental it was to remove a father from the home? And they said, well, damn, if we could figure out a way to remove the father from the home, we could pretty much destroy this whole race. We could destroy all the men in this race. We don't have to worry about it anymore. We don't have to worry about them building anything, because they're not even going to have the number one component they need to be a man, and that's somebody to teach you how to be a damn man. That's the number one component to being a man. Having someone to teach you how to be one. And a lot of these boys just don't have it, man. They don't have it, brothers. They don't have it. They do not have it. And if you ask me, man, it's a travesty. It is definitely a travesty. You know, I say, man, that you know, when it all boils down, man, the bottom line is this. We must all recall how important it was to have our fathers in our life. All of us who had our fathers in our life, we must all recall how important it was to have our fathers in our life. How much it meant to be able to ask our father questions and be led by our father and be taught by our father and feel the masculine energy of our father and ingratiate ourselves to that energy. You don't have any of that when your parental guide is a single mother. You just don't have it. You know, you don't have it, and you're not gonna have it. It's not yours. It's not your thing, man. And you know, it's a travesty, man. You have to feel bad for a young boy, man. You got to feel it. You got to feel bad for a young boy, man. So another thing is this, man. Many times she knows her emotional, mental, and spiritual makeup makes her unlovable to most men. Therefore, losing her son's love, her son's daily love, enters her into the pump and dump receptacles of POF and Tinder. And she doesn't want that. No woman wants to be a she doesn't want to end up in the pump and dump receptacle of Tinder and POF. She doesn't want to be reduced to someone that a man only comes to see when he wants quick sex. He's not even going to spend the night. He don't want to go to dinner. He don't want you to cook for him. He want to come over and possibly, if he can, not even take off all his clothes and get what he want to get and then leave. That's a travesty, man. You know, when you think about the fact that a woman will do whatever she has to do to not hit the bottom of the barrel. No one wants to be at the bottom of the barrel. That's why we live in this society where, you know, fat shaming is wrong. And you know, if say a woman need to lose weight, you're fat shaming. You know, you can, you know, talk about a woman looks, you can say you face shaming. You're doing all kind of shaming because women they want to do everything in their power to not end up at the bottom of the barrel in any particular scenario, in any particular aspect of life, in any particular aspect of beauty. They don't want to be at the bottom of the barrel. And when that son leaves, man, that woman finna be on POF and Tinder, man. And that's the reality of it, man. That's just the reality of it. See, let me tell you something, man. A man can figure out how to navigate the world if he's taught to be a man. If a man isn't taught to be a man, he's going to always run back to somebody for assistance. He's going to always run back to somebody for help. He's going to always run back for somebody to lay up on. He's going to always try to use somebody to come up. Because men don't want that. Men want to make their way. That's crazy, G. That's crazy, man. Yo, that's crazy, man. Move out to go pay somebody else rent. You know what I'm saying? Move out to go pay rent for somebody else. Should get somebody else to rent, but not you. That's crazy, man. And so, man, you know, the last topic I want to cover on this, man, I ain't want to make this one too long, man, because this one I will leave up on this channel, man. Hopefully, man, it won't get too much static, but we gonna see. And the last thing, man, is her love of self absolutely trumps her love for anyone else, even her son. Her love for self comes down to self-preservation. She will sacrifice her son for her own safety. You know why? Because of her inability to self-love, she lacks the instinctive motherhood capacity to be self-sacrificial. It's not in her. It's not built in her to sacrifice herself for her son. But it is built in her to sacrifice her son for herself. Now I want you to think about how real that is. It is built in her to sacrifice her son for herself, but she will not sacrifice herself for her son. She won't do it. She can't do it. She's not interested in doing it. And the bottom line is this, brothers. If I can't say anything else, I have to say this. The majority of the brothers in prison come from single mother homes. The majority of brothers who create children and abandon them and don't provide for them come from single mother homes. The majority of men who dress like girls come from single mother homes. The majority of men who act like girls come from single mother homes. That's just the reality of it, man. That's just the reality of it. This is no lie. I'm not making this up, and I'm not attacking anyone. I'm telling the truth, the absolute truth that God loves. I'm telling the truth. And that's just the reality of it. So, man, I appreciate y'all being in the joint tonight, man. It was a bang up show, man. I appreciate everybody coming through, man. You know, it's one of those things, man. So what's the primary solution to this? This is the thing about solutions. If you are a single mother there really is no solution for you. Like, you're just a single mother. But for the boy, that boy needs to be involved in sports, not because he wants to be an athlete, but because he needs the guidance. If it's not sports, he needs to be involved in something. He needs to be involved in robotics. He needs to be involved in something where there's a man who is leading him into manhood and teaching him to be responsible for this thing that he's responsible for. Whether it's sports, whether it's, something else, he needs to be guided, and not a damn preacher. Don't let it be a preacher. Never let it be a preacher. And if you want to know something else, if you're a single mother, keep that boy out the church. The church don't make men. The church don't make men. The church robs you of your masculinity and tell you to act like a woman. Turn the other cheek. If a man take that coat, give him that cloak also. A boy ain't gonna never learn that masculine and manly in the church, bruh. It ain't nothing in that masculine and manly. That's why it's always full of women. It's got feminine energy in it. And the other thing you can do is stay the hell out the way. Let that boy learn. Let that boy learn his bumps and bruises. Let that boy do some things. Let that boy learn through pain. Let him learn through experience, because you can't teach him nothing. Every time you interfere as a single mother, every time you interfere with your son's experience, you're robbing him of an opportunity to learn something that you can't teach him. It's kind of like letting him go to school, but letting him stay at home every time he got to take a test. The boy going to class, but we don't know what he know, because every time it come for him to learn something, you pull him out of the class. Every time it come for him to prove what he knows, you pull him out of the class. Keep that boy out of church. Get your butt out the way and let that boy grow. And respect the fact that there's some decision you made that could affect that boy's life in a negative manner if you don't do the right thing. And another thing, make yourself presentable enough where maybe you can get a man that means something, that got his manhood all together, and you ain't got to settle for a beta male simp mangina. Pull yourself together as a woman. Make yourself an enticing package for a man. And maybe you will get a man who wouldn't normally deal with a single mother, because now it's not about you and your love. It's about the love for your son and making sure that he's out here becoming a productive man. And the only way to do that is you got to find out how to get a man into his life to help him do that.